My name is Sarah, and this is the story of the night that changed everything. It began on a cold autumn evening. I had just finished work, tired and distracted, and I hurried to the train station like I always did. The platform was crowded with people in coats and scarves, heads bent over phones, eyes glazed with the rhythm of routine. I almost blended into them, almost. But my eyes kept drifting to the man sitting alone on the bench near the edge. He looked older, maybe in his late 60s. His suit was wrinkled, his hat a little too big for his head. What caught me wasn't his appearance, but the way he held something tightly in his hands. A faded envelope, edges worn as if it had been opened and closed 100 times. He wasn't scrolling through a phone or checking the clock. He was staring at that letter like it was the only thing tethering him to the world. I don't know why I noticed him. Maybe because I had been feeling invisible myself. I was 26, working long hours in a job I didn't love, coming home to an empty apartment that felt less like home every day. My friends had scattered into their own busy lives, and my heart had grown quiet with loneliness. The announcement came. The train was delayed. A groan rippled through the crowd, but the old man didn't move. He just sighed softly and looked at the empty tracks. Something inside me pulled. Against all my shy instincts, I walked over and sat beside him. "Long day?" I asked. He looked at me, startled at first, then smiled faintly. "You could say that." His voice was warm, tired but kind. We sat in silence for a moment, the kind of silence that feels fragile, like it might break if you breathe too hard. Then he lifted the envelope slightly, almost unconsciously. "Is that a letter?" I asked gently. He chuckled, a sound full of sadness. "Yes, it's from my wife. She passed away 2 years ago. I still carry this with me." He tapped the envelope. It was the last letter she ever wrote me. My chest tightened. I didn't know what to say, but my eyes must have shown something because he continued. "She used to love train rides," he said softly. "Every Friday, we'd take the last train home together, no matter where we were. She said the world looked softer from a train window at night. After she died, I started coming here on Fridays, just to sit, just to remember. It's the only way I feel close to her." The station noises faded around me. I watched him, this stranger holding on to love that death had not managed to erase. I felt something stir in me, something I had forgotten. "Do you ever read it?" I asked. He nodded. "Every Friday. It doesn't matter that I know every word by heart. It feels like she's still talking to me." The train finally arrived with its usual rush of air and sound. People hurried to board, but neither of us moved. He held the envelope. I held my breath, and for a moment it felt like time bent around us. Before he stood, he looked at me and said, "Don't wait until it's too late to tell someone you love them." We always think there will be more time, but sometimes the last train comes sooner than we expect. Then he smiled, tipped his hat, and stepped onto the train. I watched him disappear into the crowd, the envelope still safe in his hands. That night, I walked home instead of taking the next train. My thoughts were heavy, but my heart felt strangely awake. His story had cracked something open in me. I thought of all the words I had left unsaid in my life, to my parents, my friends, even to myself. I thought of the way I had been drifting, afraid to reach out, afraid to be vulnerable. The next morning, I called my mother just to tell her I loved her. I texted a friend I hadn't spoken to in months. I even opened a notebook and wrote a letter to myself, a promise that I would stop hiding from life. Weeks turned into months, and I never saw the old man again. But every Friday, when I pass the station, I think of him and his letter. I imagine him sitting on that bench, holding on to love so fiercely that even time couldn't steal it from him. And I remind myself, love is the only thing worth carrying that tightly. Sometimes the people we meet for a single evening can leave a mark deeper than those we've known for years. That night, the stranger with the letter gave me a gift I will never forget. He reminded me that life is short, love is fragile, and that the last train doesn't wait for anyone. Now I live differently. I speak more freely. I laugh louder. I let people know what they mean to me. And on the nights I feel lonely, I remember his words. I close my eyes and picture that faded envelope held in trembling hands, carrying love strong enough to survive even death. And I whisper to myself, don't wait.